Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. USC Lincoln Riley land their second commitment of the day, coming from three-star athlete Daune Morris from the state of Tennessee. And you take a look at the offer list for a guy like Daune Morris: Florida, Tennessee, Auburn. Lincoln Riley in this USC program once again going across the country to SEC territory and pulling out one of the top athletes from that region. Want to get into Daune Morris, talk a little bit about what he brings to this USC offense. And you're going to see him line up all over the field on the film. I checked out a 7-on-7. We obviously are going to watch the film. I personally see wide receiver for Daune Morris. This is a guy that I think has elite short area quickness, can create separation in his route trees, and a guy that you just want to get the football in his hands in space. That's where he's going to be at his best. But I would love to hear from you guys as well in terms of how you think Daune Morris gets used in this Lincoln Riley offense. Before we get into it, just want to say thank you to you guys. A massive shout out to the USC fans. This is our second commitment we're breaking down today. It has been a blast talking this program on the recruiting trail, and all the support you guys have shown the boys truly does mean a lot. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. More importantly, again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section regarding where Daune Morris is going to play for USC. And without further ado, let's get into this one. Now, when we turn on the film, you're going to see a lot of Daune Morris as a running back or as a wildcat quarterback, where he's operating essentially as a ball carrier. And I think your biggest takeaway that you're going to see is one of the more shifty, twitchy athletes that you see in this 2025 class. And you kind of look at how Lincoln Riley is going to use a guy like Daune Morris. I think it is going to be predicated on getting the football to him in space and letting him operate as one of those dynamic guys with the football in his hands. Now, I think the question is, how do you do that? Do you do that from the running back spot? Do you do that from the wide receiver spot? And I think with Harry Dalton and Riley Wormley already committed in this 2025 class, I think you feel comfortable about what that running back room looks like. And I look at Daune Morris as a guy that probably operates in that slot, as a guy that can create separation in those short intermediate route trees, a guy that you're going to give some screens to, some end arounds. And I mean, at the end of the day, there's not a coach I trust more to use a premier athlete like Daune Morris in an efficient way, in an effective way, than Lincoln Riley. There's no doubt there's been communication between Lincoln Riley and Daune Morris in terms of, all right, what does the 3-year plan look like? Where am I going to be used in this USC offense? I personally think wide receiver, but it's going to be very interesting to kind of track how Daune Morris fits into this USC offense. But again, end of the day, it's you want to get these kind of guys on your roster, and you turn on the film, and I think the first thing that you see from Daune Morris is just that feel that he has with the football in his hands. He has burners when it gets to open space, but in terms of setting guys up, making people miss at the second level, you're not going to find many ball carriers better than Daune Morris. Again, a little bit undersized for me in terms of that running back spot, especially with Riley Wormley already committed. But you look at what he does in space. This is a guy who just has a feel for setting up his blocks, getting in and out of his cuts. And again, when it's time to put on the Jets, there's not many people that are going to be hawking him down. Also, shout out to the camera work here. I think they got, a little drone here. That's pretty sweet. Now, again, you see where Daune Morris gets incorporated in his high school offense. It is predicated on, hey, we're just going to get the football in his hands as many times as we can, and good things are going to happen. Operating from that wildcat look right now, which you see short area quickness, making people miss, knowing how to run his angles. And again, when it's time to turn on the Jets, people aren't catching him. You're going to see a few reps from him as a wide receiver, and that's what really stands out to me. One thing I'll add right here, this is the wide receiver rep I'm talking about. You go to some of his summer camps and some of the 7-on-7 stuff, you see a guy that takes those elite movement skills that you see when he has the football in his hands operating as a running back or a wildcat quarterback, and you see that translate to him running his routes. You take a look at what we see here. I mean, very fluid route runner. This is a guy that has all the traits you want, setting up the defensive back, tracking the football extremely well. To me, that's a wide receiver, in my opinion. Now, again, Lincoln Riley, heck of a lot smarter than me in terms of using his offensive talent, but I see twitch, I see long speed, I see ball skills. This is a guy that I think could operate really effectively as a slot wide receiver for USC. You continue to work through the film. You continue to see just different ways that you can get him involved on the offensive side of the football, more as a traditional running back here. I mean, you take a look at, we talk about short area quickness. You talk about making guys miss in the phone booth, really comfortable with the ball in his hands. I mean, this is a good argument for him to play running back right now. You take a look at, setting up that safety in the hole, making him miss clean, and then turning on the jets. This is a guy that, this is a good problem to have. If you're Lincoln Riley and USC, this is a guy that could be no doubt a very good running back, but I personally really do like him as more of a spacey slot wide receiver. But any way you cut it, get the football into this kid's hands and good things are going to happen. And you take a look at what USC is building this 2025 class. A couple of you guys have asked, all right, where's USC in the 2025 recruiting rankings? Up to top 5. And this is a program, we talk about momentum all the time. I don't think there's a program that has more momentum on the recruiting trail than USC. You rewind, 16 days ago? They had one commitment in the class in Julian Lewis. You fast forward 16 days, you get your 10th commitment, top 5 class in the country, and you kind of scroll down, and this is probably one of my arguments for why I think Daune Morris is more seen as a wide receiver. You have Harry Dalton III. He is, in my opinion, a bona fide bruising running back. We just broke down his film. You have Riley Wormley, who put up insane numbers at Southlake during his junior year, kind of a smaller running back, but very good in space. And then you look at the rest of this class, there's no doubt in my mind some wide receivers are going to start coming. But as we sit right now, there's not a wide receiver that's committed to USC. So I kind of see this for Lincoln Riley as kind of one of their first wide receivers in this 2025 class. They already have 2 running backs in this class. Whether Daune Morris plays running back, whether he plays wide receiver, if you're a USC fan, you're just happy that he is suiting up for this USC program because you're talking about an electric playmaker with the football in his hands. Would love to hear from you guys as well in terms of UC wide receiver, running back. Gave you guys some of my thoughts again. Appreciate all the support you guys have shown. If we get another USC commitment, we'll be breaking it down later tonight. Appreciate you guys rocking with it, and we'll talk to y'all later.